It's over. I'm done. With what, you ask? Everything. Hey guys, this is a video that I never thought I would make, or rather, this is like 6 to 8 videos that I never thought I would make. Basically, I'm gonna do something that no other YouTuber will do and admit that I made a mistake. My mistake was biting off way more than I can chew, like all the time. I have a bad habit of starting series on this channel and then not finishing them, and I will admit that. Honestly, I've been trying to move this channel away from doing series anyways, and try and keep the content of every video just contained within one video. But instead of just telling you that I'm canceling all these series, or worse, just canceling them and saying nothing, I thought I would make something fun out of it as a small consolation. I'm going to go one by one through every series that I'm prematurely concluding, or just otherwise requires some sort of update, talk about the game, talk about what kind of video you might be missing out on, and share some clips that otherwise would have maybe gone into that video. Why not? It seems like a better way to close out on some old stuff than just ending it with no explanation. So let's get into it. At this point, a lot of you may not remember, but quite some time ago, I actually ran a poll on this channel asking which of these games I should play first. Doom Eternal won by quite a bit, followed by Cruelty Squad, and then a Medieval. Now, if you follow my stream, you might know that I've played all of these games now already in that order, and yet I only made a video on Cruelty Squad out of all of these. Why, you might ask? Well, I'll start with Doom Eternal. I played Doom Eternal front to back and really enjoyed it. Full stop. I feel like as soon as I say more, my opinion on the game will undoubtedly be misconstrued, but I did love the game through and through, front to back. I'll probably play more of it on or off stream, regardless of if I ever make videos on it, and I did fully intend to make videos on it, but, well, to start, it's kind of a long game, and back as I was first playing it, at least in the format of videos I was making at the time, I was already looking at making at least a couple videos on it, maybe something like what I did with Dusk, so like a 3 or 4 part series, at least just based on how long the playthrough was taking. But I'm gonna be honest, Doom Eternal is a pretty demanding game, and a lot of my time with it was just spent silently sweating it out in the arenas.
Samuel Hayden has fallen. The Ark is no more. Please evacuate immediately.
I played on Ultra Violence for my first playthrough and found the combat to be a really satisfying challenge that I thoroughly enjoyed. But it didn't necessarily make for great entertainment, at least in my opinion, since I was very focused on just playing the game and not necessarily commenting on it or bantering with chat. As a result, I tossed any potential Doom Eternal videos onto the back burner, deciding how I wanted to eventually approach making content on it, since I felt like the actual footage I had gathered for it was underwhelming at best, even though I finished and enjoyed the game. But as I sat on that footage, something happened. For some reason, some members of the Ultrakill and Doom communities, what I can only hope is a vocal, extreme minority, decided to basically go to war over which game was quote-unquote better. The discourse regarding these two games has grown incredibly, pathetically toxic for no goddamn reason, as if they can't both be great and just serve different niches and audiences. And no, I'm not interested in your opinion on this in the comments. I'm just stating a fact. Before anyone calls me a hypocrite on this, I will acknowledge that back in April of this year, I made a video called Retro Games Are the Future, and in the thumbnail, I directly compared Ultrakill to Doom Eternal. I did so before I was aware how contentious the discourse between these two games was, but one way or another, this video did very well, and a lot of people who actually watched it seemed to like it and find it agreeable, and yes, I'm talking about fans of both of these games. The comparison between Ultrakill and Doom Eternal was only a really small part of the video and was mainly focused on why I thought Ultrakill had grown in popularity, since it was generally a more accessible version of something like Doom Eternal, in some ways specifically to people on low-end hardware or on a budget, and that a more or less solo dev was able to make a similar experience in quality by just embracing retro aesthetics. And the comparison in the thumbnail was purely directed at comparing the visual differences in what are otherwise similar games. Retro style versus modern graphics. While in the video, I still acknowledged that I thought Doom Eternal was a great game. The goal was not to pit these games against each other. It was just to get people interested in the premise of the video. Many people still took this the wrong way. Mainly those who just saw the thumbnail and didn't bother to, actually watch the video. Or were still mad about the thumbnail regardless of what I said in the video, disproving whatever notion they had about what the video would be about. I have zero regrets about the thumbnail or the topics I addressed in this video. I stand by every decision I made with this video to this day, and I think the results speak for themselves. But I did not in a million years realize how seriously that thumbnail would be taken by some fans of Doom Eternal. It made me acutely aware of how at odds these two communities felt they were, and since this video was posted, this has only gotten worse due to some other videos being made that I will not be naming by name or talking about. Again, I enjoyed my time with Doom Eternal, but throughout my initial playthrough, I was vocally critical of some aspects of it. Sometimes I changed my mind on things as I played more, as often happens when you're actively forming an opinion on something. But to be perfectly honest, I didn't feel exactly comfortable releasing Doom Eternal videos that had potentially negative opinions on the game alongside my generally glowingly positive Ultrakill videos. I'm not afraid of expressing my opinion in fear that people will disagree, but I didn't want to just add noise to what I think is already an unproductive and toxic conversation, even if that wasn't necessarily my intention. On top of already struggling to figure out how to package my Doom Eternal streams into a video that I was actually proud of and felt was entertaining, which was an uphill battle anyways. I'll almost definitely make Doom content in the future on any future games, older games, or maybe I'll revisit Doom Eternal to make some content now that I have a full playthrough under my belt. But to be honest, I think I'll just leave it well enough alone for now. I hate to feel like I might be disappointing quite a lot of people with this one, but I hope you understand my reasoning. A Medieval is in a similar boat, but honestly, the explanation here is even more simple. I loved A Medieval as well. In fact, I really loved it. I went into it expecting to like it less than Dusk or Ultrakill, but still really enjoy it. And while it's admittedly tough to hold a candle to two of the greatest modern retro FPS games, in fact, maybe the two best, I'd say A Medieval still way outperformed expectations for me. I love the level designs, the weapons, many of the bosses, although those last two bosses can absolutely suck it. He's dead.
Finish this champion!
Wait, what do I do now? Oh. What? The fuck was I supposed to do? And honestly, I was going to make a video on this game, but it was just another thing on my plate I didn't have time for. The game is long and much slower paced than Ultrakill or Dusk, with some time spent backtracking, wayfinding, puzzle solving, etc. Which I of course don't mind. In fact, I like this kind of pacing and level design a lot of times, but I filled this time on stream with just shooting the shit with chat, which is a lot of fun in a long form or live format, but doesn't necessarily fly as well when it's shortened up and cut down. It kind of breaks the continuity of funny conversations that happen on stream, so I kind of decided it maybe wasn't a good fit for a main channel video. But hey, if you do want to catch this stuff live or even just watch the VODs after the fact, this is a great time to mention that you can follow me on Twitch to catch me live, or check out my second channel, Dumpsterman Extra, for VODs uploaded after the fact. Anyways, I really enjoyed A Medieval. I feel like it is still somehow underrated, despite being both insanely good and a New Blood game. So please, for the love of God, check it out if you like Dusk or Ultrakill. I'll almost definitely be playing the Black Labyrinth expansion when it comes out, and I may even make content for that as long as it isn't like weird that I do that without making a video on the base game first. So the third game represented in that poll was Cruelty Squad. And honestly, I don't have much to say about this one. It's been a little while since the last video came out because my friend, community member, and fellow Ultrakill content creator, Dave.exe, helped take care of the editing on that video, and did a great job, I might add. Please check out his channel if you haven't already. And even though he is busy again with school and life, and I will be taking back over the editing duties for this game to finish this series, I am going to make at least one more Cruelty Squad video, so no worries there. I did feel like I wanted to actually finish this one, so more Cruelty Squad coming fairly soon. Play White Hell. Please. I made a video on White Hell quite some time ago. I called it Ultrakill's drunk cousin, which is only slightly untrue. The game is truthfully not that similar to Ultrakill, but half of you won't click on a video unless it has Ultrakill in the damn title anyways, so mission accomplished. What the game is, though, is an awesome and unique take on a retro FPS, with core gameplay similar to something like Dusk, levels more open and interactive, more reminiscent of an immersive sim, and yes, some small aspects similar to Ultrakill, like the ability to kick your opponent's bullets back at them, and special weapons so absurd that I have almost nothing that I can even think to compare them to. Oh, and Hakita made the soundtrack for the game. Just play White Hell. Do I really need to say more? Well, okay, yeah, I do, at least for myself. I made a mistake with this game that I've made too often on this channel, and I'm actively trying to correct. I made what I consider to be a good length video of about 20 or 30 minutes, and then I figured, I'll include the rest of the playthrough in another video. I think I even threw a to be continued at the end of this video. 7 months ago. I gotta stop doing that. I hope this video brought more eyes to this great game, but the truth is that if someone didn't click on my first White Hell video, they almost definitely are not going to watch a part 2 video. so I kind of scrapped future plans for White Hell, at least for the time being. There was a few level-long content update that dropped a few months ago. It was awesome, actually. I played it on stream and uploaded it to my second channel. So check it out. I wouldn't write off me ever doing a White Hell video again. In fact, I specifically wanted to mention White Hell in this video so that more people hopefully become aware of this awesome game. This game is still way too underrated for how good it is. I mean, seriously, 130 reviews on Steam? Like, why aren't you people playing this already? Come on. Postal Brain Damaged. I wanted to get a good sample size of this game and then kick a first impression review out the door on the day this game released. I was very positive about it, and the game deserves it. It is quite fun. It has a host of unique weapons and mechanics, but I have a confession to make. I did not finish this game. I honestly don't think that's a terrible thing. I absolutely love some games that I've never finished, in fact. And even though I did not myself finish this game, I would still not hesitate to recommend it to someone who is interested in it. Now, if you want my more developed opinion on the game, since I did promise to update if my opinion changed from that first impression, here goes. It was indeed really fun when I was constantly unlocking new weapons, abilities, and hadn't yet seen all the tricks that the level design had to offer. But beyond the end of episode 1, which was the scope of my experience at the time I made that first video, I just felt like the game was already getting kind of stretched a bit thin for me. Levels were getting a little too long and meandering without really adding anything new to the formula. While I still love the visual style, some of the design choices started to wear on me when I spent sometimes up to half an hour, even an hour in a level. My biggest complaint, though, was that I just didn't feel like the combat mechanics were quite developed enough for just how many enemies some of these arenas started to throw at you. But then levels would be otherwise insanely easy until you just hit that one room that spawned like 8 waves of enemies, and then it would just be way too hard with no real regard for what was a fun balance between these two extremes. I definitely expressed a concern similar to this in that first video, hoping that it was maybe a one-off issue or the devs were still tweaking the balance, but unfortunately it was more of a preview of things to come. Even on the hardest difficulty, which I played on, there is a way through these arenas, like spamming large area of effect damage weapons or whatever. But I just didn't find the optimal strategy to be all that fun or engaging, and despite all the comparisons this game got to Doom Eternal, I really just didn't think the combat was developed enough to make that level of difficulty actually fun or rewarding. You might be like, oh, why didn't you just lower the difficulty? To be honest, the levels were like 98% of the time actually way too easy for me, even on the hardest difficulty. It was usually only like 1 to 2 arenas per level that were way too hard. So I do think it's on the game a bit to provide a more satisfying balance and not on the player as much to curate their own experience. At least not when a pretty limited selection of difficulty options are imbalanced to that extent. But look, don't get me wrong. I did overall enjoy my time with this game. I don't at all regret trying it, and I more than likely will come back to finish it eventually, even if it's on my own time. I think the creativity of some of the level design and weapons alone is enough to warrant a look at this game for anyone interested in boomer shooters. Not to mention, if you already like Postal, it's probably the best Postal game currently in existence, for better or worse. I ultimately did not see it to completion and will probably not make future videos on it. I mean, I have a lot that I want to play and make videos on, so I gotta make tough decisions sometimes. I do think this game is great, and while not perfect, there is genuinely a lot to love here. It just kind of got left behind as I moved to work on other content. God, do I love Neon White. Pulling the plug on doing more Neon White videos, at least for the time being, is probably the toughest decision I made as part of this video. And if I had infinite time, I would have honestly loved to make more videos on Neon White. I played through this game, got to the bad ending, played through it all again to get all the ace medals, gifts, and good ending, and then I played through quite a bit of it again to get some of the red medals and even some pretty damn respectable leaderboard times on some of the levels, if I do say so myself. Be a lot faster if we didn't float like a feather. I mean, that's true of like everything in this game. Woo! What am I now? 209! At a certain point, though, I realized all the Neon White content was going to be pretty much the same thing. Neon White was some of the most fun I've had streaming to date. The chat interactions were hilarious, with people talking about the characters, the story, bullying, encouraging me to go for gold and ace medals, and even competing with people from my community for better times. It's worse! But I don't know. I don't know why. Good one, Dick Fort. There's actually so many good clips that I have to actively resist the urge to just make this entire segment into funny neon white moments. But they were just that, funny moments. And honestly, the remaining bulk of it just got to be the same thing. I mean, again, this was almost 3 full playthroughs of the game, including me occasionally just running the same levels over and over again to get a better time. Sometimes for a long time, with lots of story sections and memories in between. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually would have loved to make videos out of this, but I made that first Neon White video, and then Ultrakill Act 2 hit a little while later, and I was all in on Ultrakill content for a good while. And then once that cooled off, I had some content on the back burner that I wanted to catch up on, and now, well, the Neon White stuff just doesn't feel quite as relevant anymore. I really do love this game though, and it's one of my favorite games of the year without a doubt, and I will absolutely find more ways to talk about it, make content on it, and so on in the future. But I will not be continuing my first playthrough series, since I don't feel like it would be worth my time at this point. Now I know what you're thinking, because people ask practically every time I upload a non-Ultrakill video. Does this mean you're done with Ultrakill? Yes. Forever. Okay, now that the fake fans are gone, no. Of course I'm not done with Ultrakill. I talked about this on one of my Act 2 videos, and community posts following shortly thereafter. But I will always make Ultrakill content as long as I am enjoying it and feel like I'm making quality content on it. I really appreciate everyone who has subscribed to the channel for Ultrakill content, which I assume is most of you, especially if you stayed to check out other content, streams, other games, whatever. But even if you haven't, as long as you've been respectful here, I appreciate you a whole lot. But the Ultrakill community is changing and growing, and the YouTube community along with it. Without just putting anyone on blast, I've noticed a ton of extremely low effort Ultrakill content absolutely blowing up on this website. And as a result, I feel a massive external pressure to just keep pumping out Ultrakill content to keep up with what is ultimately a growing content creation community around this game. But simply put, if I hadn't said it in so many words before, I will say it right now. I don't think I will ever be making Ultrakill content as my main or only type of content. And I know it's really risky to say that because some of you might be here expecting just that, but it's the truth. I hope that if you found something you liked in those Ultrakill videos, you can find something to like in other retro FPS videos, Souls videos, or whatever. But hey, if not, just hold tight. There will, of course, be more Ultrakill content in the future, and as always, I'm committed to a high standard of quality in those videos. I'm not going to be changing a single thing that I do to chase views or anything like that. I'm happy that a lot of people like to watch my Ultrakill videos, but at the end of the day, I just want to enjoy what I'm doing and feel proud of it. Now, if you do want a slightly more steady drip of Ultrakill content, I try to boot it up on stream every so often to do whatever, honestly. I do genuinely love the game. I just can't play it quite as often as some others do without any new content to mess around with, or I kind of burn out on it. But lately I've been messing around with mods. I've done some challenge runs and stuff like that. Normally these don't make it to main channel videos, at least they haven't yet. I've still tried to inject little bits of this stuff into the clip compilation videos I've done recently. But if you want to make sure you see this stuff yourself, the first best way to do it is to follow the Twitch stream. The second best way is to check out the VOD channel for recent VODs. There's even an Ultrakill playlist there. And the third best way is to check out the clips and shorts that come from these streams on the clip channel. Akita's been teasing new Ultrakill content again. I won't spoil it here, but we are due for a new secret level in Prime Sanctum, and I'm excited as all hell to make content on that. I also want to make some more in-depth commentary style stuff on Ultrakill that deviates a bit from my usual live gameplay reaction type stuff. So if you're interested in just hearing me talk about the game more, please let me know. There is, of course, one more big old elephant in the room, and that is Dark Souls, or Souls games in general. 6 some odd months ago, I started my Dark Souls videos on this channel. I actually started playing the game even a few months before that. Then a couple weeks ago, I finished this series after 6 whole videos. And that was just way too much. I think the series was fun. I'm super proud of it. I feel like I really conveyed how long and arduous of a journey my first ever Souls game was, and I wouldn't change a thing. Except for maybe just how damn long it took me to get all those videos out. I will admit, these videos were pretty self-serving. They've gotten a lot of positive comments, even though the views are not necessarily as good as some of my other content. But at the end of the day, I made them because I wanted to. And nothing is going to deter me from making more Souls content. Next up is Bloodborne, then Dark Souls 3, then Sekiro. And after that, who knows? I want to do something with Elden Ring, like a chat chooses my build, and hopefully this will eventually coincide with DLC coming out. But yeah, future Souls videos will be maybe 2 videos per game at most. I just can't commit to doing 6-part series on something that hardly anyone is watching, even if I'm personally really enjoying making the videos. And that's kind of just the long and short of it. But I am very committed to continuing to make Souls content. I've thoroughly enjoyed streaming my experiences with each of these games. The streams actually do very comparatively well to the content that does well on YouTube, and I just have fun ideas for it. Some that I've already streamed and recorded, and I'm just excited about the potential it has. And if you aren't into it, that's fine. I won't stop making retro FPS content either. So that's all I really wanted to update on. One hand, I'm sorry to be pulling the plug on some content that people were probably looking forward to and maybe even waiting for. And I hope this video is even a small consolation if you were one of those people. But I'm gonna be honest, I think this is massively for the best. I've been pushing off some cool content that I really wanted to make because I felt I had obligations to finish some of this much more mundane and niche stuff. So being able to close out a chapter like this is actually pretty freeing. I'm excited for the future of this channel. I hope you are too. Thanks for watching.
Hit that like
This is
button.
alright.
Smash that bell, hit that
Hit
bell
this-
button, hit this
Destroy my
bell
pussy.
button.
Subscribe to Dumper Man.